All right. Well, hi, my name is Kendra Thompson. I am the operations manager for the Northwest Iowa Symphony Orchestra. And I'm here with Dr. Onsby Rose, who is NISO's principal conductor, and Dr. Carrie Gronewold, who will be guest artist for one of the pieces at our upcoming spring concert, Aaron Copland's Symphony for Organ and Orchestra. And that's happening on Tuesday, April 9th. So welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Question first for Onsby. Can you just tell us a little bit about this piece? I know there will be 3 pieces of music at this concert, but I thought we'd just talk about the Copland. So can you tell us just a little bit about the the Symphony for Organ and Orchestra?
Yeah, it's a work that you don't hear very frequently. Aaron Copland is commonly known to have written 2 types of music whenever he was composing. And he classified that as music for the people. And then he also had his music that was of a more academic nature. The Symphony for Organ and Orchestra very clearly falls within his academic music. And in meaning that is that, for example, most people would recognize many of the much of the music that would come from his Rodeo or from Appalachian Spring, his Suite for 13 Instruments, and some of the more noticeable pieces that have more of a tune to them, more of a lyrical melody. Whereas the Symphony for Organ and Orchestra is a different type of music, and that it's based on more in-depth, deeper thoughts of how that he constructed the music and put it together. For example, within the symphony, there's a tremendous amount of hemiola, which is 3-against-2 feeling, or 5-against-4, different things like that, that is created, and he uses a single melody to manipulate and create these instances that, for lack of a better way, may not sound as tuneful as you would often recognize, but creates a very different musical experience that can really be quite enjoyable.
So it's kind of brainy.
Yeah, I guess you could put it that way. It's a little brainy, I guess.
Yeah. Well, that's exciting. So Carrie, this is kind of the part where you enter the conversation. Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself, your role at Dordt University, your love of organ, maybe what you are typically doing on the organ, and then we'll talk a little bit about this piece that you'll be playing on.
Sure. Well, thanks for having me. And
Yeah.
it's a huge honor to be able to collaborate with NISO. I'm really excited about it. So my name is Carrie Grunewald. I am from the Midwest originally. I am a wife and mother of 3. I love music and have made my love for music sort of my career, which is just wonderful, I guess, because I get to do what I love. So at Dordt, I teach in a variety of ways here in the music faculty. So I conduct one of our choirs, Bella Voce, the women's choir. I teach courses in church music and theory and ear training. I also teach private organ lessons, and then oversee the keyboard department as a whole. And manage a recital series. We have an organ recital series here given by our Professor Emerita, Dr. Joan Ringerwall, that I manage. And then one of my titles is also university organist. So that means I play for the major events that use organ during the academic year. And about my love of organ, well, I'll try to keep this brief, but the very Cassavant organ that I get to teach on and play on here at Dordt is really the instrument that inspired me to start playing the organ. And so it's kind of a full circle experience that, come full circle, was inspired by that organ when I was young. And
you learned to play on it, right?
Learned to play on it,
Yeah.
Took lessons on it, was trained on it, and it's still just as inspiring, I will say.
Well, I'm glad you pointed out too that you are how did you put that? You are the university organist, because we might not know that otherwise, right? You're kind of hidden from sight when you're playing.
Right.
And you also mentioned Bella Voce. Am I correct that they were involved in the fall concert, correct?
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
So they sang the female choir part to Neptune last fall,
Mhm.
and they did a beautiful job.
They
And I
did. They
I
really did.
really love working with them. So
Great. Well, that was fall. This is spring. Tell us what intrigued you about this Copeland piece, the Symphony for organ and orchestra, that made you want to play.
yeah. Well, first, just the idea of playing with NISO and um, playing as a collaborative endeavor, but also the idea of, I mean, the title is organ symphony, but really it's a concerto. And so the idea of performing a concerto is always appealing to me. Just the idea of um, there's some sort of solo moments, but then there's a lot of collaborative moments. And so for me as a player, that's really an exciting endeavor, but then also the opportunity for an audience to hear the organ in that manner as, as from a soloist with an orchestra. It's a different way of hearing the instrument. And so I think that's also just a huge opportunity. And it sort of just shows the flexibility of the pipe organ. I mean, it can lead really well, and you might say dominate, but then it can also really be a member of the ensemble. So, as far as this piece, yes, as Dr. Rose said, it is very complex, um, rhythmically very complex, and very exciting, and in some ways a challenge. And
You've
it's
been practicing it for a while. I know that from
yeah.
when I've seen you on campus, sometimes early in the morning. Yes.
Right, right. So yeah, it's a work in progress, but it's going to be really, really wonderful. And there's more than meets the eye too, I would say. This piece is very complex, and there's a lot to keep discovering the
Yeah.
longer that we live with it. Mhm.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Um, Onsby, final question for you. For those who might not be organ orchestra aficionados, what do you think we could expect to appreciate from this piece? Those of us who will be there on April 9th for this concert.
Yeah, so there's a number of things. The first thing is, and really what sparked my interest in doing this is that we not only get to feature this beautiful instrument that Dr. Gronewold has spoken about, that obviously has not only motivated her to achieve a terminal degree in performance of this instrument, but has also motivated numerous other students of hers
Yes.
and previously to learn how to play it. The organ is something that unfortunately in many circles has fallen out of common use.
Kind of a
Um,
lost art.
it is, yeah. But however, here in Sioux Center and specifically here at Dorrit, it really is still it finds an excitement level not only with people like Dr. G, but with younger students that are learning to play it. And I think that is just extraordinary. We have this beautiful instrument. So this is not the first time that I've programmed to work for use of this instrument with one of my ensembles, and it won't be the last. But when I found this piece, I immediately knew that one of the things that I try to do as a conductor with the Northwest Iowa Symphony is I try to bring music to the community that they not only enjoy, but bring music to them that maybe they haven't heard before and that will continue to grow their ears. The great thing about this is that everyone here loves our Cassavant organ, and everyone
Yes.
loves hearing Dr. Gronewold play it. So I thought, what better
The
way
win-win.
than to bring this piece that is a little on the abnormal side. It's a little beyond what the normal listening might be. It's definitely beyond the normal hymns that we would hear coming from the Cassavant. To bring that and the excitement and the love that people have for that instrument and bring it together with something that will help grow their knowledge and grow their understanding of the classical music genre, specifically that of 20th century composition and one of our most famous and most well-renowned American composers in Aaron Copland. So that's the first thing. And then secondly, and equally as important, is we're so lucky here at Dort within our department to have such incredible musicians. Being at a small Midwestern Christian college, I think some people don't realize what incredible depth of talent that we have here. And for me to be able to feature one of my wonderful friends and amazing colleagues on a really difficult piece, and a piece that really shows what is possible with the organ, that to me is just an ultimate opportunity. And I look forward to not only this piece, but many, many pieces in the future, that I can collaborate with Dr. Gronewold and her students, and our students here at Dort. So I think it's just, there's no lose here. It's like, what a great opportunity for people to be able to experience this wonderful piece that they might not choose to listen to on their own. But I bet when they go away, I think most people will be like, wow, I can't wait till I get to hear that piece again. Because like Dr. G said, there's so much to learn. And as I have done my score study and learned the piece, and we've begun to rehearse the piece, it's been exactly that for me. It's like, wow, every single time I learn something new, and I come to appreciate even more so what the work itself is and what is available via the organ, to the extent that now I want to write something for organ and orchestra.
Well, it sounds like it's one we won't want to miss. Any final thoughts from either of you?
I'll just share one of my favorite moments in the whole concerto,
Yeah.
if that's okay.
Yeah, please.
It's towards the end of the second movement, and the second movement is a scherzo, and it plays upon this very simple melody. And towards the end, the organ is given this melody in the pedals, and actually double pedal. So both my feet will be playing. And the part for my hands, or we call it in organ the manual part, extends the entire compass of the organ, and it comes in full organ, very big sound, the melody and double pedal, and the manuals sort of traversing the entire compass. It's a really exciting moment.
Sounds like it'll be taking your full body and you'll be kind of stretched. Is that right?
Yeah, I might be.
we won't be able to see it, but we'll take your word for it. Well, thank you both for your time. And just as an invitation to everyone watching this, please come out for the NISO spring concert. And that will be Tuesday, April 9th in the BJ Hahn Auditorium at 7:30 p.m. Tickets will be available at the door or beforehand, $20 for adults, $6 for students, and they're buy one, get one free for students. Thank you both so much. We'll see you April 9th.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right.